I wanna turn all of our wrongs into rights for you. I wanna go to every corner of my mind to find you. Gotta find you. I am dreaming a million years and everything stays gold. I see stars on the ceiling. Don't know what's real or if I wanna wake up. I am dreaming a million years and everything stays gold. I see stars on the ceiling. Don't know what's real or if I wanna wake up.
Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are doing well. Feels so good to be back. I mean, we streamed with Mag last week, but I haven't run my own public stream in 2 weeks. I feel like I haven't taken a 2-week break from public streaming this entire year. Nice little break, but feeling refreshed, feeling motivated. Last week was a pretty damn good week of trading. I know that like a lot of people aren't loving these tight ranges and chop and everything like that, but unfortunately I think this is just how Bitcoin's going to trade from now on, guys. This is something that we've grown accustomed to and grown used to, and you know, I think I was pretty early to being like the 8-month range guy, and now these ranges are getting tighter and tighter and appearing more and more often. We don't have that many trending days to work with. We have a lot of chop days, and I think it makes it pretty easy and pretty simple to trade. So that's, again, where we find ourselves right now. You got a bunch of people calling for 100K and 120K, and those are fun things to do. But at the end of the day, we're just going to trade the local value that we're sitting in, right? I'm glad you guys like the new intro, though. I've been I hit up a homie. I saw his work on the timeline, and I was like, bro, I think your shit is fire. You wanna help me out? And from the kindness of his heart, he just he started helping me out. It's not a finished product yet. Hopefully, there's gonna be like a version 2 coming, where we can make it a bit longer, clean up some stuff. But yeah. I see you went on an artist shopping spree. I technically did, yeah. New intro. I got the bold PFP, and I got one more thing coming in. I don't know when it's going to be delivered, but I know that it's done. I got something to commemorate this cycle for like real life, like a painting on my wall. Oh, who made it? Let's pull up one sec. We could do this. Give the homie a proper shout out. CFW. That's what he goes by online. Man trades some size too. I saw like a PNL screenshot that he posted. Made like 80 bands or something recently. Where is this? I don't know. Well, that's not 80 bands. What is this? There you go. I think this is the exact. Ooh, I think this is the exact same trade I took, but motherfucker sized up. Version 2 Doc wins Wimbledon. Serious question for the intro. Why does Doc wear a Santa hat in December? My man is not read up on the lore. Nah, man, it's nothing deep. When I joined CT, everyone did the fun thing of putting Santa hats on their PFP. And when I was like brand new to CT, I put it on, and it's just, you know, who cares? Like, I forgot. I was too lazy to take it off. 3-4 months have passed, and I was like, screw it. It's just staying on now. And then every time I switch my PFP or anything, I just keep the Santa hat on. It's part of me now. It's part of my anatomy. All right. Shall we get started? Yeah, absolutely. Never took it off. But hope you guys doing well. Hit me up with any questions you may have. I have a feeling this is going to be a smaller stream than normal in terms of like audience. So the less people are in here, the more likely that, you know, I'll answer your questions, and hopefully you guys bring some heat. And it's not just all chart requests. Like, I will do chart requests, of course, right? I will oblige, but any interesting questions you guys may have, you know, feel free to shoot my way, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. Okay, so let's do the Bitcoin outlook. So here's how I see it. I'm gonna start off on the CME chart. Now the CME chart trades incredibly clean. I'm not going to give every ounce of detail away on how I'm using this to my advantage, but the thing that you guys need to know is it almost trades cleaner than the Bitcoin USD charts, the Coinbase charts, the Binance charts, and everything. And I speculate that's because we're in a full TradFi takeover of Bitcoin. And, you know, a lot of people have, you know, memed on CME gaps in the past, and maybe they're not that useful. They're pretty damn useful nowadays, guys, you know. So EMAs even trade cleaner, right? If you look at just the Bitcoin USD chart, and I'm going to quickly scroll over to here. This is a lot uglier on the weekly time frame, mainly because CME doesn't trade on the weekend. What kind of price action do we normally get on weekends now, guys? Low volatility, low volume, infinite chop. It's just a bunch of unnecessary data that's not really moving price one way or the other. Anytime we get big weekend moves, guess what we get on Mondays or Tuesdays? Giga reversion in the opposite direction most of the time. So this thing's not trading that clean, but the CME chart is beautiful. And I will continue using this to my advantage as long as this stays relevant. Something that I've been back testing and forward testing for, I don't know now. It's probably been like 4 or 5 months. Anyways, we're going to start off with the cycle top yap because everyone is so concerned about the cycle top. Now, you can try to predict these things if you want. What I like to do is simply say that if the daily trend is lost, you guys have heard me say this 1,000 times, I'm looking for the weekly trend. If the weekly trend is lost, it's probably cooked. That's how I look at it, right? So anytime the daily trend is lost, you kind of look at that as a reason to risk off, take some chips off the table, protect yourself, lock in some gains, yada, yada, right? once again, we got that. Now we're in the weekly trend. Weekly trend for me is opportunity time, right? Whether we hold the top of the weekly trend at the daily 100, where we are perfectly retesting prior all-time highs, or we dip in deeper and get all the way to the daily 200, which I don't think is going to happen, right? If I have to really try to put my gut out there and you know, tell you guys what I think, I don't think we're going to get the daily 200 unless equities like start nuking. Without equities nuking, I don't think people are going to get, you know, sub 100K entries. So that's the Bitcoin high time frame. Now on low time frame, there's a lot more interesting stuff going on. We're going to go back to the regular charts, right? These are the charts we trade on, so this is what we're going to use as always. Bitcoin is locked in a tight composite over the past week and a half. Actually, it's a little bit longer now, probably 2 weeks now. Between 113 resistance and call it 108, 109 support, we're finding support at our 2-month comp, the May-June composite that we spent 2 months in. The value area high of this region has held us as support. Resistance has been pretty much the CME gap, right? So the week that we got the Jackson Hole meeting, you know, we launched upwards. The entire weekend was this big bleed. We have held this 113 region as resistance for some time. This is also this prior support region, right? SR, whatever you want to call it, and the CME gap. It is my bias at this moment that if we can get some acceptance above this local composite, above 113, start trading into the CME gap, what that's going to look like is also breaking the daily downtrend, right? If we can get into this region, I'm looking for a pure gap all the way to 117. I think that will be a very clean and easy trigger to take with your invalidation dropping back below the daily trend and dropping back into this local composite that we've built, right? So very simple trades for bulls here. For bears, the thing that they've experienced over the past week is a lack of momentum, right? So we've had pretty strong drives down, and hopefully I covered this last week either with Magus or in the Outlook, but maybe even the cookbook, right? I was active last week. 3 drives down, weakening drives, the last drive being the weakest. And what happened at these lows? You had your mega whale unloading thousands of Bitcoin worth billions of dollars, I believe, on an illiquid 3-day holiday weekend and causing zero price impact on the chart. This guy was basically nuking into these lows, and what did he do over the weekend? Pretty much nothing. Even if you don't read flow, you can look at that as a sign of absorption, right? Even if you're not looking at order book depth and what's happening actively in the, you know, the interaction between active orders and passive limits, it's still a very clear sign of absorption at a key level, and that key level being, like I said, our May-June composite value area high, right? So for me, this is the start of momentum loss for the bears. They are still in control. We are still in bearish market structure. We're still in a bearish daily downtrend, but the momentum is waning for the bears. And all it's going to take here, in my opinion, is just a little bit of initiation from buyers, a little bit of aggression, a little bit of initiation. I think we're going to get some pretty decent relief. But as far as trading this, I am absolutely not interested in top blasting and longing composite value area high and the top of the daily trend, right? I'm not longing into this. I'd rather bid dips than bid into rips. My intraday trades are still going to be based on mean reversion. If we do get 109 again, I'll be looking to be bullish again. Now, the thing for the bears is, just like for the bulls, if what they want is acceptance outside of this comp, right? So what they're going to be looking to do is take us below 108. And if we can get acceptance below 108, it's probably going to gap down to like 102, which would be your May-June composite value area low. That's going to be your daily 200 on your CME chart. All of these things are going to kind of overlap for this region. So those are the levels to be concerned with. As far as trading, active trading goes for Bitcoin, it is just your 3% range. I think you guys are all very familiar and comfortable with how I trade these 3% ranges, and or maybe not. Maybe we're in the public stream. Paragon homies know exactly how I trade these. But nonetheless, it's as simple as being bullish or optimistic and looking for signs of absorption and unrewarded effort when you're trading at a discount of a range, and maybe de-risking, hedging, shorting, looking for the opposing signs of aggression being absorbed when you're at a premium. So I'm going to pause and take a breath there, see if anyone has any questions. Okay, no real questions. Can rarely join Paragon streams, but usually can make it at least 1 hour of your live public ones. Bro, watch them recorded. They're all recorded. They're in a library. I don't speak that fast. You can listen to me on 2x speed and get through them pretty quickly, but I think last week we went for 3 hours in the Paragon stream, which sounds like a long time, and it is. But like I said, when people are asking me really good questions, I get motivated to give, every ounce of experience or wisdom or anything that I have into the answer. So no questions are off limits in there, and I think that's probably going to get the most value from me. Streaming flow of consciousness. Good morning, Joe. No chart needed, just thoughts on Chill House. Looks good, man. Send it. Interested in your thoughts on ENA? Yeah, ENA is one of the few good coins in the market. It's now falling under the kind of buyback revenue treasury company meta, whatever you want to call it, right? Like that's really the driving force of the market right now, is whatever is having buybacks and treasury companies and all these stuff. That's the coins that are good. ENA just announced something of the sort. I don't know the exact details on that, but it was already strong, and this is adding to an already strong coin. I do think ENA looks good. I don't own any ENA, but definitely one you want to keep on the radar. I'll get to it in a bit because I want to try to go in order. I know some people watch the streams and they want me to do, things in order. So I will get through it. It's on the list of alts to look at. Do you explain how you use CME chart in Paragon? Yeah. Pump is on a run. Yeah, Pump is going wild, man. Main character coin right now. Parastream is the most fun thing we do. I would agree, man. Out of all the Twitter, Paragon, whatever else I do online, YouTube and stuff like that, the Paragon streams are fun. They're fun. Are you going to Token 40 2049? I've been invited by multiple different people and I guess businesses or whatever you want to call it to attend, but I don't think I'm going to make it, man. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of places I need to go to close out this year, and adding Singapore to that list for the end of this month, it just doesn't make sense. Someone even offered we'll fly you and your significant other out first class and hook you up with hotels and all that stuff. So I've gotten crazy offers, but I'm probably not going to go, man. Only reason to go to crypto events, in my opinion, is to meet people and network. I'm personally, this might sound crazy because I live, breathe, and sleep this industry. I don't care that much about any tech advancements and any coins and fundamental advancements or anything like that. So I'm not going to be listening to anything over there. It would just be to meet people. Why did FARTCOIN get F so hard? Meme coins have not been strong. It's not just FARTCOIN. PEPE, my beloved PEPE, has been getting murdered. What else? Any meme coin under the sun right now has been looking pretty bad. I think Dogecoin's probably the best looking meme coin, if I have to say off the top of my head. We'll look into them in a bit, though. ETH lagging or losing mindshare versus other dinos? I think the ETH BTC pair got a little extended and is resetting a little bit. Yeah, you could say volatility's come down. It's, to me, my bias on ETH, we can talk about ETH right now, is that it's building new value, right? So in order to expand in a healthy manner, the best thing you could do is build new value and continue to absorb selling into your lows, and exchange enough coins so that you exhaust the sellers and continue upwards, right? ETH is somewhat doing that, right? We nuked pretty hard. We're rounding off in these lows so far. We haven't even lost the daily trend. We're still sitting above that final boss level. We're bullish on the daily, the weekly, and everything like that. It's the first time we've broken above 4K this cycle. Holding here is not a big deal. It's really not. I do think ETH is an opportunity mode. I've said a million times I think Bitcoin's an opportunity mode. I would be concerned under here, right? Dips in a gray are totally fine for me. Weekly demand, weekly pointer breakdown. This is a really solid region to defend ETH, and I don't think you should worry about 5-10% lower if it comes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if we just, at worst, tagged 39.9 4K or even held and round out right here, right? Plans should be made, whatever system you use, based on if then, right? If something like this happens where you just continue crowding the daily and lose the daily, for me, my bias is going to be the weekly trend. If we do not get the weekly, right, this would coincide with weekly demand, recognize also this will come up and meet price. It's not just probably going to nuke in a straight line. Or a market structure shift where you take out the high that led to the low and you get back above the daily trend. You can bid in here, right? Same kind of situation. If then plans on ETH. Otherwise, you have to do the exact same thing that you're doing on Bitcoin, which is treat it like a range. Draw your fixed range volume profile, draw liquidity levels, and trade around those. Don't just randomly top blast with 10% wide invalidations and stuff. How much is Paragon with the bonus code? I actually don't know what the discount is. Maybe someone knows, but there is a discount running. What is it called right now? It's Mojito still, probably. Here, lucky for you guys. So I think this is like a few weeks ago. A couple of you guys were asking, and I was like, you know what? We can run a discount code. What is going on with the caps lock, man? And I think we're all just too lazy to remove it, so it might still be live. I don't know how many people have taken advantage of it. But as far as like value that you get, there's no way to like be unbiased about this, because obviously I work with Paragon, so it's like it's hard to be completely objective. But the value that you get is going to far exceed, I think, any other group. As far as the amount of education videos, systems videos, indicators, templates, Q&A, streams, you name it, right? Spot portfolio positioning, like you get everything. You get, and it's not the biggest group in the world, right? So that you get a lot of like one-on-one time as well. Don't you think networking will give you an edge? I think it was important because, I mean, early, like nowadays, I don't think so, because the only thing that people can give me an edge on is just shill me coins early. But I know myself, I know how I trade the market. I'm going to fade their recommendations regardless, right? Even if you give, like, my friends gave me a FARTCOIN at 100K market cap or something, like sub 1 mil market cap, and I faded them. And I bought it at like 10 mil when I, built my own conviction on it. Was it 10 mil or 100 mil? I think it was 100 mil actually, not even, like, I faded 100x and then I bought FARTCOIN. So for me at this point, not really. I'm beyond the stage of needing to pick people's ear and learn about trading. I've got multiple systems that I use, and I have the confidence in myself that I'm able to adjust my trading based on the market if need be. So I don't, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't think networking at this point in the journey is going to be that much of an edge for me. Okay. Welcome back, Doc. I know you don't really care about this stuff, but just wondering if everyone really bullish about the upcoming rate cuts. Should the market be front running it already? I think the market is running hot into rate cuts. And the classic thing in crypto is for bullish news to be bullish news that is telegraphed to be sell the news. Now, I don't know if crypto is per se pricing in the rate cuts or not. It's hard to tell because we've been pretty weak the past, call it, month. I think, yeah, since middle of August is when we topped. So we are probably not pricing it in crypto, but equities are up only. Now, will equities sell off because everyone's expecting rate cuts and then we finally get rate cuts passed and there's nothing to rally into? Maybe. It's hard for me to say. I'm not really your macro guru, man. I don't know enough to have like a wise guess on the topic here. If it was crypto native and a crypto native event, I could give you the whole rundown on how I expect it to play out. But since it's macro, since it's rate cuts, and since crypto is not running into it, but rather kind of bleeding around this time, I don't expect it to be too much of a sell the news type of event, if I have to guess. SPX looking good. PENGU, Bert. Nice. Meme strong today. Spaghetti chart. PENGU, Fart, SPX. Cool. Okay. We'll look at memes in a bit. But have to take... But have to every taken part in per sale or OTC deals that take place during... No, I mean, I don't really care. Here's the thing with OTC deals, guys. I get offered them all the time in the Telegram DMs. Like, people found out what my Telegram handle is And I get these BDs always DMing me deals in Telegram, and they're like, yeah, tweet this coin 6 times a month and whatever, and we'll give you X amount of money or X amount of coins at a 50% discount. Then you have like this. I don't want to do any of those things, right? So if I don't want to do any, I already get those offers and I already turn them all down. So what benefit is it going there and getting those? I mean, maybe if like someone's like, hey, we're building the next Hyperliquid and it's this and that, and you can get into the series blah, blah, blah funding. Yeah, maybe that's a good opportunity, but whatever. I've been getting kind of wrecked in the recent chop on alts. I mean, if you're just entering drawdown, but you're still like in high time frame good positioning, but just entering some drawdown, I think it's okay. If you top blasted and you're just holding bleeds and that wasn't part of your plan and you really wanted to cut at X price and you didn't, maybe that's something you should reflect upon. Who cares about technical advancements in coins with VWAPs are already invented? That's what I used to say about EMAs too. EMAs, VWAPs, price action, liquidity, order flow, all these things, right, help you paint a picture, but you're going to be late. You have to understand that you're going to be late to the turning of the tides. Like people bought pump fund at 20 cents, not because of TA or lines or horizontals or EMAs or VWAPs or anything. They bought it simply because they're like, this coin good, this coin underpriced, yada, yada, right? Not the mojito alcohol is bad. Agreed. Okay. How long is the stream today? I don't know. We'll see. Hour or two. You've always talked about Bitcoin needing a spark to drive price discovery. Thoughts on when may act as that spark? Hey, man, I said that a lot in this region. Or even this. No. Yeah, it was this region. It was even higher. I said it a lot right here, right? I was like, we often need a spark to break out. We didn't really need one, right? We made new all-time highs without one. And why did that happen? It's just the buy pressure, the Michael Saylor bid and the ETFs and the buy pressure. Right now, the tides have shifted. Oh my guys, I spilled my coffee. Give me 1 second. All right. The tides have shifted to ETH and to alts. So I'm going to pull up total 3 in a second. You guys have already seen the ETH chart, but the driving force of the spark or the narrative in the market right now is treasury companies, and it's just overwhelming buy pressure. It's like people are raising millions of dollars. They're running the Saylor playbook, and they are ripping to shreds the bid. Right, so that's what's driving ETH. That's what's currently driving Solana. That's why Solana's performing so well recently. Athena, Pump Fund, Hyperliquid, all of these are just either buybacks or these treasury companies. So that's really your spark in the market at this moment. I don't think Bitcoin has one, and it may be that this was the Bitcoin dominance top of the cycle. Maybe it has one more ripper. I think the most bullish thing that this market could do is Bitcoin dominance, and Bitcoin itself leads the next breakout rather than ETH leading the breakout or anything like that. I would love to see that happen again. But yeah, man, I mean, every other time this cycle, I've always talked about a spark, and it's worked out well for me. Most recently, the quote-unquote spark is just literally ETF buying and Saylor buying and just people hoarding the crap out of Bitcoin. I really hope we get one, though. I hope Trump comes around and just starts yapping about SBR again, because that makes the narrative of the market so simple. It's just so simple to bid of like, hey, he's really bullish on SBR. This is the date that they're going to announce it, and this is the thing. And then you could just rally into it, right? Everyone's going to be long into those events. What's the best way to have more confidence in trends? I suppose I should look at the higher time frames and have more patience, but every 4-hour reclaim got wrecked apart from the last couple of days. So remember this. when a coin is trending and holding its trend, it's great. The minute it loses it, your bias should not flip to, oh my God, immediate reclaim and continuation. Your immediate bias should be, we'll probably fill the lower, and if we don't, we're going to build out a range. So number one should be kind of like, well, number one and number two, call it 1 and 2, should be either range or bleed, right? 3 should be reclaim. So if you're doing, excuse me, if you're doing something like this where coin has lost a trend and it's doing this, and every time it like gets a little bit above the trend, you're longing, and then it drops below again, and then you're cutting, and then it gets above again, and you're longing again. Yeah, you are trading a range-bound environment as a trending environment. That is the surefire way to chop yourself up. So just shift your mindset. The minute a trend is lost, shift your mindset to a range-bound environment and try to buy discounts rather than trying to buy reclaims. Reclaims will happen, but they're probably the lowest EV thing to bet on once you get a breakdown. Once you get a breakdown, you should be betting on range or bleed, and let the market prove to you that it's a proper reclaim. Good morning, Wave. You gotta make your name more easy for me to say, bro. I don't even know how to pronounce WaveX, and I've known you for like 2 years. I'm on WAP right now. Do not see the field where I have to put in the bonus code. I mean, I don't know. Should I do it? I don't really want to do it on stream right now, but it should be there, man. Maybe take another look. If you click the link in the description, maybe there's like a, when you click checkout, there's probably a code that you can put in somewhere, just like any other thing online where it's like, checkout codes and stuff. Pointing out the naked EMP of our space. I don't know what that means. I'll be honest. Not enough loikers on the stream. Hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. One thing Mag and I were yapping about last week on stream was doing like a trader tier list, because Thread Guy did his like CT influencer tier list. I don't really know what his criteria was, how he was ranking things. It's his own list, so I don't know what his criteria was, but I would love to do like a trader centric one, right? And trader could mean anything. It doesn't mean, oh, perp trader, right? It could be trader, on-chain trader, positional trader. I think what I would use as my criteria is like who I think is the most competent money maker in the market out of the people that I follow, right? Like I have 200 and something people that I follow. I could do like a top 50 of people that I think are the most competent. I think my criteria would be like, if I needed to pick guys to make me, a couple $1 million over, a cycle, who would I pick on my like Mount Rushmore or starting 5? I think it'd be something fun to do. A 15-minute stream today? Is there? I don't think it's 15 minutes. I think that I'm just behind on chat, as I always am. I'll try to speed up. Happy hype, all-time high indeed. WaveX is fine. Good morning. Good morning, Keith. WLFI has been an interesting one to trade. I cut the position when we lost 2. Now back in the range, or back in since we were kind of that level. I'll take a look in a minute. How does the market prove to you that a trend is sustained? Okay, so I think Trader Mercury says this the best. I steal his quote all the time, but I make sure to give him credit for it. You need to make a snowball to make a snowman, right? In order to make a snowman, you first need to make a snowball, and you need to make multiple snowballs. So what trend reclaims look like is little building blocks building. So if you're looking to reclaim a daily trend, let's say a daily, how do I want to draw this? Daily's gone up and it's kind of been lost and price is trading below it. What you need to do for this reclaim to be confident, first you need to be above the hourly trend, the 4-hour trend, the 12-hour trend, and you need to start on that low time frame market structure, medium time frame market structure, respecting those trends, right? Then you can make a 2-pronged kind of trade here and say, okay, we've reclaimed the daily, we're also holding the 4-hour. So what you do is you don't actually take a trade on the daily, you take a trade on the 4 hour. Or if you've reclaimed the daily and maybe you're bracketing and you're ranging above the daily like this, you're looking to take trades on an intraday basis. If you can run into that composite value area low or 2 standard deviation daily value area low and you get some absorption, you take an intraday trigger and then you say, okay, best case scenario, I have just longed the reclaim. Worst case scenario, I'm taking invalidation on an intraday basis, right? So the way to have the most confidence in high time reclaims is one step at a time. So let's say, for example, this trade right here, like I'm not going to be breakout longing this. I would rather wait for this to pull back, right? On an intraday basis, if I have to take a trade here, the first place that I'd be looking at is somewhere around the daily VWAP, right? I'd be looking for a trigger right here. If I don't get that and we start, limp dicking right around here and we don't get the bid that I want, we didn't get enough open interest swipe, we don't have enough volume and absorption coming in, I'm not going to take the trade, or I'll take the trade and I'll be like, I don't like the way it's looking, and I'll cut it, right? Very, very quickly. With the idea that I know that we're trading underneath the daily. If we get this above the daily, I'm looking for this, I don't want to go over every single detail, but basically I'd be looking for big expansion candles that don't fully retrace. And I'd say, look, if strength is going to come in from this effort, I need to see this effort rewarded. Whoever like Giga Chad long this above the daily, their effort has to be rewarded. Once again, I'd be taking it on an intraday basis, hoping for the best. That's the way that I look at reclaims. It's not going to just be blindly candle close above line, therefore I long, and then my invalidation underline, right? I don't think you could do it that way. You take lower time frame setups within the context of the high time frame, and you let the market surprise you. You go like, okay, I'm taking it with the bulls in control here. This is my invalidation on an intraday basis or a low time frame basis, or even in a medium time frame, H1, H4. And the best possible case is that my intraday trade or intra-week trade turns into a swing trade, right? You don't need to take invalidations on a super high time frame basis when you're playing those reclaims. Oh, my number one troll, man. Talking about Mercury, does he do videos in Paragon? No, but he's part of the cookbook. So I don't think we've released a cookbook this week. Mercury's on vacation with his wife in France. He's living it up right now. But yeah, he's part of the cookbook team, not part of the Paragon team. We love Mercury though. Just straight up right now, can we start with the strongest alt pump? Yes. Have audio muted and just reading Magus's comments in here. Fire. Bro, I'm actually like honored. I've been around the markets for a while now, and I finally got my own personal pasta. Everyone's got one pasta. I should add that to my souvenirs list. I finally got a hater that gave me pasta worthy comment. Okay, so we done Bitcoin, we did a little bit of ETH. Let's talk about Solana. One thing you guys should note about Solana is it's trading very, very cleanly on the daily trend. And these parabolic moves on the hourly or on the 15-minute, right? These very strong bounces off the daily, you can tell when they're going to break down back towards the daily when the H1 trend is lost. So, a little bit of spice for you guys. Just pay attention to the H1 trend. Every time this is lost, it's fully reset down to the daily. So, if you're catching these longs off of the daily and you're not trying to predict a top, you can react by saying, okay, we're starting to consolidate. We're driving below the daily. We're failing to reclaim it. There's your example of a reset, right? You're not looking to bid the reclaim like, oh, candle closed above it, I'm long. It's more so create your bias to be lower and let the market surprise you. So from here, you kind of just don't want to see below 210 anymore. Let's go to Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid, I was speculating a little bit that there could be some momentum loss here, but it has proven me wrong 100%. This thing is giga strong still. It is still in bullish market structure. It doesn't care about that waning momentum. It is one of the few strong coins in the entirety of the market. Bitcoin up 1% today. Hyperliquid took the opportunity to blast new all-time highs, putting up 8% on the day. So undeniable strength from here. You know, the reason I haven't been trading Hyperliquid is because it doesn't respect too many of my like frameworks, daily trends, weekly trends, you know, 4 hour, 1 hour, VWAPs. So like if I'm going to trade, since I have such a good hit rate on Bitcoin this year, I'm just going to trade Bitcoin, right? Yes, this is going to move, you know, bigger moves. It's going to put in bigger moves. But for me personally, like the way that I trade is if I find one thing that's exploitable and repeatable, I'm just going to continue doing that and not worry about whatever else is going on in the market. But it looks good, man. Like you can't deny, right? The best thing you could do, I think, the best thing I would do, right? This is what I would do. If gun to my head, someone's like, you have to trade Hyperliquid, all I would do is take proxy bets. So if I'm going to long Bitcoin, the minute that I want to click long on Bitcoin, I'm just taking a proxy bet on Hyperliquid. I'm just longing it laterally without even looking at the Hyperliquid chart. That's how I'd be trading this, since it's not respecting too many of the things that I use for framework. Let's see what else. Okay, let's look at ENA. Yeah, I mean, I think it was last week when we streamed with Mag, or maybe it was a Paragon stream. I can't remember. But one of the things I was saying is like, you know, you want to bid dips on Athena towards the 60s. I didn't bid it myself, but nonetheless, it was a good plan. Trading back outside of the yearly starting to slope up a little bit. Trading back outside the quarterly, I think it looks good. This consolidation led to an expansion. I wouldn't want to see this trading underneath this consolidation. I do believe it's trading on the hourly, so let's take a look real quick. Yeah, hourly trend very, very clean. I think as long as if you're in longs, you're good until the hourly breaks. When it breaks, you can de-risk and look for a reset and relong. I personally think since you built value here above the yearly, I know it's on low time frame, it's on the hourly time frame, but still, you built a bit of value above the yearly, above the quarterly. I would like to see this be the launch pad for much higher prices. Meaning, from here, I don't want to see price under 75. Right? I would like to see dips towards 75 being bought. And for this fresh momentum to continue. And then we can look at pump. Let's see. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit surprised this is just knifing through every level. It's just that strong right now. 4 hour trend is pretty much held since the bottom, right? Flip to 4 hour and you've held it the entire way. So your invalidation for pump trades is just going to be 4 hour trend loss. That's going to be your momentum loss indicator. A little bit crabbier up here. I would still say you would bid dips into the 4 hour. And then when this is lost, it's probably going to get reset into the listing anchored VWAP. As long as you're above the 4 hour, you're good. Link is one that I want to talk about because this is something I actually wanted to pick up down here at the quarterly, right around 21. It's front running my levels a little bit, which is good, right? Front running consensus levels is a sign of bullishness, but I'm going to take my time with this one still because that was the plan that I made. So I'll still be looking for the 21s. I have a bunch of alerts down here, as you guys can see. So we'll see if I get those. If not, I will adjust probably higher. And that's going to have to, again, be a proxy bet if Bitcoin accepts above this local value and accepts above the daily trend. What is the Paragon daily trend indicator? Right above you in chat. There's a bot that told you. All right, I am caught up with chat 45 minutes in. That's pretty good for me. If you guys are familiar with my streams, getting caught up with chat 45 minutes into stream is not bad. Pretty proud of myself today. See if there's anything else I want to talk about before we continue with you guys. Oh yeah, total 3. So this to me looks really, really, really good. This is your altcoin market cap. This is total 3. Yes, it's going to be influenced by things here and there that may not matter as much. Yes, people are going to say, you know, probably not the best indicator of alts. You know, you could do some calculations by total 3 minus stable coins and this and that and the other thing, but I still think it's a really healthy representation of risk on, risk off in the market. Sometime earlier this year, I said the most bullish thing that total 3 could do, even from rejecting from here, is build a little bit of value, go sideways, and then get ready to go again. We're doing that, right? The all-time high level, 1.15 trillion, right? That's the level to break. What's going to take alts and make them go nutty? In my opinion, it's going to be ETH price discovery, right? So ETH has been chilling. It's holding the level it needs to hold. This, in my opinion, is the giga defense zone for bulls, similar to how I was talking about on Bitcoin at the May-June composite value area high 108. Right? This is the level to bid. This is the level we did bid. And ETH is synonymous with about 4K, right? Any dips into 4K, in my opinion, are for defending for the bulls. And if ETH gets into price discovery, I think that altcoins get into price discovery, and that's your quote unquote maybe alt season, or at least a very risk on moment for alts like this or like this, right? That's at the very least what we want to see, if we can get above here, crack above here. Now do memes. We'll get into memes. Let me know though, guys, would you guys be interested in me doing like a, what do we call it? Top, let's just call it trader for simplicity. Top trader tier list. It might take a while. It might take like an hour to do, because I'd have to go through my entire following and kind of drag and drop and explain why certain people belong in certain places. I'm probably not going to make a lot of friends doing that though, because there's going to be some people ticked off of where I put them. I'm going to want to put a lot of people at very high places. So if someone's below someone else, they're going to get pretty pissed off. All right, let me see. Did I miss any coins? All right, let's do FARTCOIN. So let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of these. Let's just talk about FARTCOIN. So it's pretty unfortunate for FARTCOIN lovers and enjoyers that we were retesting our listing anchored, or not our listing, our March low anchored VWAPs, big mega pivot, the minute that Bitcoin is breaking down, right? Whereas people would probably have bid this up in any other market context. When Bitcoin is weak, support's just it's not gonna support, right? So from here, what I am seeing is momentum loss once again, right? Each drive down is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. The lows are starting to round off a bit. You're getting a little bit of a pump today. I don't think it's immediately going to just, godsend back to $2. But I do think we're closer to a bottom on pretty much everything across the market, because even when it is signal when the weakest coins in the market start rounding off, right? Obviously, strong coins are going to be strong. Obviously, strong coins are going to be exactly where you want them to be very, very early. But the weak coins in the market, when they start rounding off, when they start bottoming out, when you're running out of sellers on the weakest coins, for me, that's a pretty damn good signal. So yeah, I mean, we don't have that many clear contextual levels to work with outside of weekly demand, which is just a little bit lower, right? This is a bid region, right? If you have no FARTCOIN and you wanted to build some at this moment, I would say try not to, bid too much into this. You would either want to reclaim higher, or you would want like 65 cents lower. 65 cents at this point is a pretty big sell off. I think it's like 25% lower. So you're probably not going to get it. It's 20% lower, right? What you would need at this moment is you would probably need Bitcoin to make a lower low in order to get 65 on FARTCOIN. My bias on Bitcoin right now is probably bottomed out, and we're probably going to be closer to relief than not. If I have to like just draw some parallels to other market structure that I'm familiar with trading, this reminds me a lot of this right here. Losing the daily, dropping back below. This was a lot of FUD. This began some momentum loss. We curled up underneath the daily, and then we popped back up to range highs. This reminds me a lot of that so far. Dropping down below, you know, I don't know what the exact FUD would be right now. I'm not really locked in with FUD or whatever takes people have. To me, this is just, you know, we lost levels, we broke down, we ran the highs, we lost some levels, we broke down, end of story. Bears were in control, and now bears have running out of steam and running out of momentum. Breaking back above the daily, in my opinion, opens up this full gap fill, which is more likely and more conducive to relief or reclaims on FARTCOIN versus lower. But like Bitcoin, FARTCOIN is still in a daily downtrend. A lot of coins are still in a daily downtrend, but they are showing signs to me of momentum loss, right? A lot of people are familiar with quote unquote ghost month, which started, I think, the 23rd of August, right? So if you look at coins, like how down bad are they actually, right? We you know, kind of just rounding off over the past 2 weeks down in this location into key levels. So for me, I'm a broken record. I just keep saying the same thing. I think this is opportunity period. I was one of the most opportunistic people in the market this exact time last year. Kept on saying, you know, I think bears are stupid at the moment. I see the same thing right now. I think a lot of people are very, very greedy for lower prices, calling for sub 100K and stuff like that. Market cycle top. Bitcoin's only down 13%. It's giving you perfect retest of a very clean level. It's giving you a retest of all-time high. And, you know, if we reclaim into, well, we drop below the quarterly value. We're kind of holding and trading back in quarterly value. To me, this is prime opportunity for rotation back to quarterly value area high, you know, 119K. Or are we dropping into on the yearly value area high, right? How are we developing on the monthly? Bullish on the monthly, right? So I think September is going to surprise some people, and you know, they're not going to expect it, but I do think some higher prices are in order this month. Do the tier list. If you get flack, that's good, if anything. Yeah, I would feel bad because also I'm going to be biased because there's going to be some traders on there that you guys probably not as familiar with, but I'm very familiar with. And I know what they're capable of. So there's going to be probably some surprise picks that you guys wouldn't expect. And some people that you think are goated are probably going to get left off the list because I may know some insides about them too. It would end up being spicy. I just don't know if I want that kind of attention or if people are even going to care. Imagine I get left off the list as well. You're going straight into B tier, buddy. If I'm B tier, you're B tier as well. What's the non-CME highlighter? That's just for me to quickly scope out what the weekend price action was. So all the gray candles, this is our weekend price action. This is where the CME closed on Friday. This is where CME opened yesterday. All of this in between was your weekend price action. It also highlights the 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time CME close. CME closes for 1 hour post-market as well, so it highlights those candles as well. It just tells me what the weekend price action was. Even Mog rounding, PENGU, Doge giving me meme hope. Yeah, let's take a look. PENGU was mentioned a few times today, so probably should look at it. Wow. Yeah, I mean, look. Doom and gloom, the most bearish thing, cycle top. What is this? Is this showing you the strongest bear trend of all time, or is this just people doom posting while prices are going sideways? you're getting absorption. Whoever's selling is not, they have no momentum in their favor. And the minute that you get any interest in buyers, you get some relief, right? I think the same thing is in order for Bitcoin in short order. Yeah, it looks good, man. Still in bearish market structure. All you want to do is bid the dips here. Pretty dang simple. So you see these doodles on the chart? This is representing the same thing. Hourly trend sent you all the way towards all-time high. The minute the hourly trend is lost, I just call for a range, right? Range, drawdown, whatever you want to call it, right? Maybe this should have been drawn over here. But nonetheless, that's what you see most of the time. So bidding reclaims is not the most EV thing to do in, when a trend takes you parabolically for big moves. When that shit's lost, don't just immediately go trend reclaim, trend reclaim, trend reclaim. It is going to work once in a while, right? I'm not telling you never to do that, never to take those trades, but if you had to just categorize it, I would say that it's the lowest EV bet to make. Looks good though. Thoughts on Bonk? Yeah, Bonk is a crazy oscillating kind of coin, man. This is another example of big hourly trend, 4-hour trend. 4-hour trend, actually, hourly was the goated one here, if I remember correctly. Big hourly trend move, hourly trend loss, just call for a range, right? Range or drawdown. Don't look to bid reclaims. Yeah, this thing reset all the way, huh? Bonk has found support in this region numerous times before, right? It doesn't need to reset all the way down to range lows. What else is happening here? Daily uptrend, daily downtrend, kind of cracking above the daily, rounding off the lows, multiple drives down here, not a lot of momentum showing, taking out the high that led to the most recent low. To me, yes, this is also momentum waiting for the bears. It's all opportunity period on these altcoins at the moment. And if the meme coins are showing some life, I think that's important because they've been the weakest coins over the past several months. Dog trade list top. Should I wait for the confirmed top before doing that? That actually might be a better thing to do, is wait for the cycle to end and then have, instead of a trader tier list, have a 2025 cycle tier list of like who I think did the best this cycle. And of course I can't put myself on the list. You give very good observations on the market. Why couldn't you give honest observations on people? I could. I could. Talked a bit in the beginning of the range about how can you confirm a range breakout 400. So whatever there's two things I look for. One is if I have a level, right? I'm looking for buyers to smash through it, not just baby above it, not a wick. I want you to smash through it, and I don't want you to retest it. All right, so if the market pulls back from here, I do not want the people who are stacking limit orders and putting limit orders right here, I don't want them to get filled. I want price to come down, the whole market to see all these limits here, and then for this to get front run. That for me is how I trade, range breakouts. I call these expansion candles with less than 50% retrace. That's one of my favorite ways to trade breakouts. The other way would be if there's a trend that's carrying you, you need that trend to continue holding. If that trend is lost, right, you can get out of the position. You're looking for the trend that carried you from range low or range mid or even up here to continue trending through that level. That becomes your easiest point of invalidation. If trend lost, then cut position or de-risk or whatever. So yeah, those are the two ways that I trade range breakouts, whether it's on price action or a VWAP or intraday or any type of composite. Any type of really strong resistance level. Those are the kind of things that I want to see for breakouts. Most of the time, though, guys, like there's going to be rare times where I do get trades like this, like I got early in the year on Bitcoin, where we're forming a range right here. We're very tightly compressed. We get the expansion candle. I bid the pullback, less than 50% retrace, don't get a perfect retest of the highs, etc. and then we gig ascend. I'm not taking this with the idea that we're going to 120K. Absolutely, we're not taking that. You just get granted these moments. But there's not a lot of times where I'm getting these breakout trades. Most of the time, if I'm getting them, I'm actually just bidding the lows, right? I'm bidding the dumps. I'm getting the mean reversion trades. I'm getting the pushes back in equal value or mid-range or range high. It's not often that I take trades like this. They do happen, but it's not every day. Sounds good. Do in 2026. I think that's a better way to do it. What pump level retest are you watching? I think it's 37. If the 4-hour trend breaks, that would be my bias. It's right here. This is the listing anchored VWAP. So if the 4-hour trend breaks, then I would be looking for a pretty gnarly correction down at the listing anchored, right? That would become the bias, and then I, reserve the right to adjust that game plan based on the price action that forms afterwards. But immediately, that would be the bias. What does acceptance above 113 look like? So exactly what I just told you guys about range breakout trades. Like, that's the way that I would look for. The best case to position for it is if you get a trending market day intraday, right, where you're trending very, very cleanly, and the market has already shown you respect 1 or 2 times during New York session for the daily VWAP. Then you can bid at the daily VWAP if you get an expansion and retest here. As of right now, all you're really doing is smacking right into your composite value area high and into your daily trend. Is this a position that I want to be bullish? No, I'll be bullish down here when people are calling cycle tops again, right? Like we did on Tuesday and like we did on Thursday. I didn't take any trades over the weekend. But yeah, if we pull back, that's where I'd be more opportunistic on wanting to take longs, and then, Jesus take the wheel. If it breaks through, it breaks through. Otherwise, I will be de-risking at the highs again. I'm not trading this market right now as a trend, right? If anything, it's in a downtrend, right? If anything, the most EV trade to take right now is shorting the market versus trying to long resistance. You apply the 3 drives idea on all time frames. It's better on the higher time frames, in my opinion, versus lower time frames. I don't do much price action trading on lower time frames. Actually, I do no price action trading on lower time frames. Do you trade the Ochi cloud? No. It'd be so spicy if you put yourself on the list to see where you ranked amongst fellow traders. I know, I have a list in my head. I know exactly who's better than me and who I'm better than, or at least have confidence that I'm better than and who's better than me. I think we all do. We all have like that list of, we're always kind of ranking ourselves of where we think and who we're better than. And it's just normal ego things that everyone does, right? Whether you are a very humble person or an extremely narcissistic person, there's some inner monologue that's always ranking you against people. And it's not even trading. It's just in life. When you walk into a room, you immediately know who you're comfortable with and who you're nervous to stand next to and talk to, right? The people that you're nervous to talk to, you're automatically ranking yourself below that person. So we all kind of do this. I know where I would place myself, but I'm definitely not going to do that. Can you rank the worst, name the worst? There is no worst, right? Anyone that I follow, I have immense respect for. In some fashion or another, whether they're a pure trader or something, I think they have value to offer. So there's not going to be a worst for me. It's just going to be goats amongst ghosts. Goats amongst goats. Did I say ghosts? What would you consider low time frame, medium time frame, and high time frame? I consider like 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute low time frame. It's interesting because like I wouldn't consider the 15-minute low time frame, but it technically is. But I wouldn't consider it that. I would say like Yeah, the easiest. We'll leave 15-minute in the gray zone, right? For now, 1 minute or 1 hour, 4 hour is medium time frame, and then 12 daily, weekly. That's high time frame. Goats amongst ghosts is actually a fire phrase, dude. Put in the album. All right. What did I miss? Some chart requests. Link, I talked about Link. I'm looking at the quarterly VWAP at 21. I think it's like 21.3. Check SPX. All right. This is, I think it's on the weekly, right? Oh, it dropped below this too. Damn, this thing has been ugly. Y'all murdered this coin. Always funny. I read a tweet once that was like, is it resilient or is it pre-weak? Talking about like how the strongest coins often become the weakest coins. So this wasn't resilient or strong. It was pre-weak. Yeah, I mean, so we looked at a couple meme coin charts today. We looked at PENGU, FARTCOIN, right? A bunch of these. They all look the same. They've all been in these giga-strong grind-down structures. The grind-downs have shown some momentum loss. There have been some rounding at the lows, and then everything today is getting a pop upwards. Structure is still bearish, but momentum is waning for the bears. I think this is an opportunity period. I think you look to bid the dip, right? This is not a coin that I'm going to be trading, so it's like I don't think it's any of us are going to, benefit if I try to look for trade setups on this. What I would suggest to you is look for key locations on Bitcoin, as I've explained already through the stream. And when you get those signals and triggers on Bitcoin, you can take the lateral bets on the altcoins. And if you're not doing that, you're saying to yourself that basically September seasonality, prices are lower, things have bled out like 50% from the top. This is an opportunity moment to stack the coins that you wanted to bid. You guys probably have been wanting to buy SPX and been coping along this entire uptrend, but down here now we're like min-maxing our entries on, oh, I don't know, it could go lower, it could go lower, it could go lower. Basically making validations for yourselves. You take a minute, familiarize yourself with the coin, recognize, is it respecting VWAPs more? Is it respecting price action more? Is it respecting EMAs more? Build your framework and then take trades off of it. For me, I'm looking at this quickly. I would say the yearly VWAP is a great place to buy. It front ran it a little bit. We're popping upwards. If you're betting for reversal here, you want this to set a higher low. So if it does pull back, you're looking for higher lows. End of story. I don't think at this point, after this much of a pop from these lows, that it should set a lower low. Yeah, 30% from here. I don't think you need to retrace 25% of this. So you're looking for higher lows in the context of this consolidation, right? It put in a really nice comp at the lows. You can do the same exact analysis on almost every coin in the market that looks like this. This is what you call an expansion candle, right? When we were talking about those earlier is range breakouts and consolidation breakouts. So this is one of those Chad candles where you look to bid the dip on and you say, I don't want a full retrace here. Very clean. Offer, I can't keep shilling your coin every week, dude. I found out the last time I looked at it, it was like a 2 million market cap coin. I can't be shilling 2 million market cap coins. You had me going for a while, man. I'm not going to lie, because I was opening it up on TradingView, so obviously I don't know the market cap of it. But once I started looking at it on telemetry or Bonkbot, I was like, wait a minute, dude, this is like a sub 5 million market cap coin. I can't keep shilling that on stream every week. I don't even own it. What is the usual time frame to take profits once these stronger meme coins pop out? It depends. So there's been times in this market, several times this cycle, where meme coins have been the entire meta, right? So instead of lagging and being like a late signal, they are the front runners. They are the first ones to get a bid. They're the strongest ones. They're the fastest ones off the line. So you don't really use them as a signal themselves outside of their own price action of trend losses and whatever. I think the way memes are right now, they're not that strong, right? I would say, if anything, this time around, if they get to some significant levels, they may be some more of like the later rotation coins, right? They may be more of a top signal this time around versus previous times. And I'm talking about like meme coins that have perps. I'm not talking about on-chain, because on-chain has a life of its own. Sometimes the market's dead and on-chain is ripping. Sometimes on-chain only gets a bid when we're kind of late in the risk curve. So I don't really have a framework specifically for on-chain, because we've had plenty of dead markets where on-chain is just going nuts. Like summer 2023 was a really good moment for on-chain, and the market sucked at that time. Easy, I'm the worst. That's hilarious. Okay, PENDLE. Yeah, PENDLE looks good, man. Like, compared to a bunch of other coins in the market, trending up, good market structure. Let's see if there's anything here that we can use. Yeah, once again, good consolidation, momentum loss at the lows, big pop-up right here. Not the best breakout of all time. Let's see. Well, I love this song. I gotta turn the volume up a little bit. It's coming into a pretty decent bid region. I would say, like, let's see, daily VWAP. Honestly, I think you look for a bounce right here. That's a lot of selling coming in right into a key level. Daily trend, excuse me, hourly trend, hourly demand, breakout level, daily VWAP, right? This is a pretty clean level to bid for like an intraday bounce. PENDLE looks pretty good. We did ENA. ENA. We did ENA. Say it 3 more times. Someone time him out. I already did it. You got to scroll back, brother. Have we done PENGU today? We did do PENGU. We covered a lot of coins already. Pretty unusual. Usually I save them for much, much later, but we did a lot of coins already. Suggest which coin can give a good return. I'm not your fundamental analyst, man. So like, my edge in markets is trading. There are going to be times where I have very strong theses on coins. I haven't had many strong theses on coins this year. The meta at the moment is buybacks coins, revenue coins, treasury company coins. It hasn't really been this like, oh, we're bidding on chain here, we're bidding this, we're bidding meme coins. Really right now it's buybacks, treasury companies, revenue generating coins. Those are the strongest ones on the market. A new narrative may spark at any moment, but as of the moment right now, I'm not aware of any. That's why Link was doing well recently. Hyperliquid is consistently strong. Pump Fund is doing really well. Those are the coins to focus on. Solana, treasury, rumors and stuff like that. Not even rumors. I think there's some that are actually buying Solana already. That's why ETH was strong. So those are the coins you want to focus on at the moment. Can you briefly go over how you use VWAPs and EMAs? So both of these they're kind of okay. Do you understand the easiest way to understand a VWAP is if you understand range bound trading, if you understand what a discount and a premium is, right? You know, buying support, selling resistance, or building a range where price is confined into it, right? So if you're trading off a VWAP, flat VWAPs, a day where the market opens and price is very balanced and trading between two levels, you trade it pretty much like a range. You're looking for opportunities at the lows. You're looking to de-risk at the highs. You're not looking to play trend continuation. You understand that price is already at premium. Days where VWAPs are trending and expanding and sloped upwards, you look at them as dynamic support levels. You look at those regions as regions to defend and bid. Anytime price comes back to fair value, you say bulls are in control this day, we're probably going to try to push a leg higher. Days where it's in a downtrend, it's the exact inverse, right? Reversions back into the mean or reversions back into the VWAP are probably for selling, taking profits, or even shorting. That's the simplest way to explain VWAPs, right? Price is usually contained within one standard deviation of fair value as it's represented or calculated by volume, not just price, right? Because VWAPs calculate volume as well. EMAs are trend representatives, right? They just represent to you that the market is trending. It's not something that market structure doesn't already tell you, but finding a EMA that is being widely respected on the coin can offer you plenty of trade setups. Now, you shouldn't just blindly bid into the EMA. You should look for a little bit of confluence on lower time frames, whether it's price action triggers like retesting a demand block where price is consolidated before on the same time frame that you're trading, or some SFPs, or you basically use a lower time frame EMA. So what that looks like is market is trending on high time frame EMA. This down leg right here is going to be bearish market structure. So if we just highlight what this looks like, it's going to be bearish market structure like this. And very often you're going to get a lower time frame EMA that is holding as resistance while price trades back into support, which is going to be your higher time frame EMA. If price can get and squeeze and compress and break the downtrend, that's going to represent a market structure break and a trend shift on the EMA. While you're at support, you're either looking to bid a higher low or sometimes even a sharp sweep, right? Those are going to be your triggers within the context of a higher time frame EMA. So these are the kind of the lower time frame into high time frame trend continuation combined with low time frame trend reversal, right? Those are a very common way to use EMAs. But you always got to use EMAs in tandem with price action, right? EMAs are a lagging indicator. Price action is going to be a leading indicator. So the best way to get entries with an EMA is not to be lazy and just bid EMAs blindly. You're still looking for triggers and ways to kind of mark out your invalidation within the context of those setups. Prediction market's also a meta that's been going off for a bit. Not many have tokens. Which tokens are there available in prediction markets? I agree, though. Those things have been growing. They've also crossed over into just like the normie world, right? They run on crypto rails, but a lot of normies are very, very involved in prediction markets. And shout out Stoic, who has recently put out an article on prediction markets. I haven't read it myself yet, but I know that he put in some time and effort to writing a rundown on prediction markets. I'm actually going to pull this up and chill Stoic for a minute. So this is the article. He has it pinned on his profile. So check it out if you guys are interested in these. You did a long write-up on this. Bitcoin has been chatting. Come on, baby. Give us a God candle. Another thing that's notable is a lot of effort has come into the market over the past 24 hours. A lot of new positionings have been opening. A lot of buying power has been present, and that has been rewarded thus far, right? Anytime you're looking for trending environments, you're looking for effort going in, that goes rewarded, right? People that come in and blast the top, If price, puts them too much underwater, they're going to puke and add to the sell pressure that's already there, right? As price is drifting lower. Oftentimes, those end up being good entry points for continuation as well, right? So if you see somebody coming in, top blasting, their effort goes unrewarded, price mean reverts from their entry, you see them puking in the books, their kind of poor positioning and poor decision making ends up being a good opportunity for you to enter and play that trend continuation. I think you should do a collector crypt cards. Wait, what? Tokenized Pokemon cards, RWA. I mean, bro, you guys want to hear a really sad story? So when I was young, I was really into Pokemon cards. And I think I was 10 or 11 years old. We were moving, my whole family was moving from California to Florida. I was 11 years old. And my grandma was doing a garage sale. So she's basically getting rid of a bunch of stuff at her house for the move from California to Florida. And I'm a kid. I'm like, I love Pokemon cards. I go everywhere with my binder. Like, I have it in my hand. I travel with it. Like, I just love looking at it. I was so proud of it. And she had the garage sale. And I'm just a kid, right? I'm 11 years old, and I just put it somewhere. I don't remember where I put it. I was like, got distracted, put it down for a second. And my grandma sold it to someone for $1. It was a full binder of Pokemon cards. I can't even really remember. I didn't have a Charizard or anything, but I think I had a lot of good shit in there. She sold the entire binder of Pokemon cards for $1. I wonder how much it would have been worth today. It was like 20 years ago now. It probably would have been worth a lot. I want to know the behind the scenes of goated traders that are bad. You don't want to know, dude. Too many of them. Too many of people out here getting a lot of respect that probably don't deserve it. And too many people out here that deserve a lot of respect that don't get it. $1. I'll never forget. It was $1. She didn't even look. She thought she was just selling a binder. She didn't even know there was anything in it. She just sold the binder for $1. She didn't look inside it. She didn't know it was mine. She's just like, oh, you want binder? Great, $1. Some rumors about Polymarket, but still unclear. I think that would be a good, I mean, that would be a great fundamental bid, but it's probably going to do something very similar to Pump Fund. Launch at an overvaluation rate, sell off for a while, reaccumulate, and then it's going to be like a fundamental bid and a fundamental bet. I don't think it's going to give you like 100x return, because if they made a coin, it would probably be very, very, very expensive at launch. Doc 31 years old confirmed. Dang, Solana's strong, baby. I think the best thing about being bullish in markets, or like, you don't even have to have exposure to the coin to be happy to see green candles. Like, I don't have Solana exposure anymore. I may have like maybe 100 Solana left in total, which is like nothing. But that just seeing green candles makes me very, very happy. There's also a lot of consolidation under resistance. So if we look at this from a high time frame perspective, like 210 is clearly a very strong support resistance level. Came into factor a bunch of times during our Q4, Q1 top as well, right? Losing this level basically led to this massive bleed all the way down to sub 100. This was the level to hold. So we're breaking above this now. I also believe that we're breaking above the yearly value area high. Let's just do it over here because it's going to be much, much, much cleaner, right? So start of the year, holding underneath yearly value. Traded back into it, traded to the highs, held the yearly VWAP, trading back into the yearly value area highs once again, and now we're getting a little bit of push away from it. So looks very healthy, head has been grinding up beautifully, and I wouldn't be surprised to see much, much higher prices on Solana in the short future, like 260-ish again, right? This not a lot of volume been done up here. We can make a very swift move from 210 to 260. Your invalidation would be rotation back into yearly value and losing the daily trend. So let's get rid of some of this stuff. Right? You have two-pronged invalidation. Daily trend is holding like a god. You're trading above yearly value. You don't want to see a trade back below yearly value again. And if it does, you make your bet, you make your bid and your entries at the daily trend, right? With your daily trend being your invalidation. We talked about earlier in the stream how you play range breakouts or any type of resistance breakouts. Either you bet at the trend or you look for those expansion candles with shallow retraces. So either one of those can form on Solana right now. Also had a ton when I was 6 and we lost all of them. I was more into coins when I was a kid. Sadly lost that collection too. I'm about to show my age. Do you guys remember Lunchables? I guess this is only an American question. If you guys are burgers like me, we had these things called Lunchables, which is like a cardboard box with a drink and a little bit of food and a little snack. And a lot of times parents would just buy Lunchables for their kids for, you know, school time lunch, right? Just buy a couple boxes of Lunchables and they're good to go. Send that, you know, send that with them to school. For about a year when Pokemon cards were getting very, very popular, on the back of those Lunchables cardboard boxes would be little squares in cardboard that you could like punch out that had Pokemon on them. And I remember trading them with people in like the playground during recess. Before we even got the actual Pokemon cards, we used to trade the back of those cardboard boxes. Good times. Can you chart TRON? TRON is one of the best trending coins in the entire market. Anytime we look at this, all I say is the same thing. You bid at the weekly trend. Look how clean this weekly. This is FTX lows, right? Reclaim the weekly. Every single puke into the weekly has been a buying opportunity. Once again, this morning, or excuse me, start of the month, nuking into the weekly trend, which was a decent buy. So if you retrace back into the weekly, I would say you bid in the weekly again. If you lose the weekly, it's probably cooked. Soul Timber, BMNR. I don't think this coin is like worth even. This coin is not worth like this. This can't be the right ticker. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I can't do anything with this. I really can't say how you would effectively trade BMNR. GLXY is probably a lot cleaner than that. A little bit. I mean, pretty healthy trend, right? This, again, it's just going to be a proxy bet on crypto in the stock market. My crypto exposure in the stock market came through the Coinbase stock for a long time, a little bit of Robinhood, and then swapped over into Athena. Not Athena, ETHA, right? Which is the ticker for the BlackRock ETH ETF. But looks good, man. Anytime you want to bid one of these, you're basically just taking a proxy bet on Bitcoin, right? It's levered Bitcoin. So if you're bullish on Bitcoin and one of these coins that are crypto related in the stock market is coming to significant levels of support, you just take the proxy bet, right? Instead of buying Bitcoin itself, you can buy one of these, whether it's a miner or anything like this. I mean, this is good trend structuring. This is basically bottomed out on FTX, has been up only since. Up 10x since the lows. So, yeah. What are these Mercury's EMAs on here? What do I have on here? 8 and 3. What the? Yeah, pretty clean respect on the weekly. So this is your weekly trend. Weekly downtrend, reclaim, held the weekly. Every single one of these reclaims has been a bid opportunity. Once again, you're coming into the weekly trend right here. So pretty decent bid opportunity on GLXY. I think shorting Sol at 260 would be a free trade. I think I would rather be bullish into 260 rather than wait for 260 and short. But yeah, maybe. It's all going to depend on the rest of the market, right? It's going to depend on what the narrative is at the time, how Bitcoin looks. Is Bitcoin in a trending environment? Is it in a consolidation? And stuff like that. It's too early to tell. Like, you can't just... I think it's a poor habit to just mark out levels in your charts and blindly either buy them or short them at that level with zero context, right? So you're going to have to see what the context is at 260, but I will agree with you that it is a very significant level. But you'll definitely have to see what the context is of the market at that time. That would change whether it's a good short or a bad short. At the end of the day, guys, levels are areas where you want to do business. They're not places that you blindly open trades just because level. They still had Lunchables in 2010s? Wow. Guess I haven't been to I don't know. I was going to say, like, I haven't looked in a grocery store close enough in a long time. You know there's a crime, it'll eventually shard itself, right? Possibly. I mean, everything in crypto is either crime or vaporware. Did you look at Pepe? Not for long. It's almost the exact same thing, right? So we looked at a bunch of meme coins today. All the meme coins are basically giving me the exact same picture, which is sell-off into momentum loss at some key levels. So here's your key level in Pepe. This is kind of the levels that I've been working with the entirety of this year. I am spot long Pepe. I bought some down at this consolidation. I didn't sell that much, but I sold some at the top. I bought it back lower, so my average cost basis went down a little bit. I'm still holding that Pepe. These are the two kind of range-bound trades that you'd be looking for, right? Either coming down at these lows, which we front-ran them just a little bit, but opportunity region, de-risk region, final boss level being your listing anchored VWAP on the Coinbase chart, combined with that very clean SR level. I think this is also confluent with the yearly value area high to a T, right? So yearly value area high, listing anchored VWAP, a little bit of a support and resistance level. So you would want an expansion above here to hold above. That'll lead you to moving all the way up into this kind of like daily demand region. A lot of work to do, but opportunity phase nonetheless for sure for Pepe, which is, you know, all meme coins look the exact same way. They all sold off very, very strongly. They went from a trend to a little bit of a consolidation, and today they're getting a little bit of a pop. Useless coin, the new coin backed by BONK guy. So here's the thing with useless coin, man. It's just another run-of-the-mill meme that has had its time in the spotlight. We've been covering this on all these doodles are from my streams when people ask me about them. Going back to here. 4-hour uptrend. When the 4-hour trend was lost, we called for the gap fill down to the daily. We got the gap fill. When the daily trend was lost, we said that this is going to go into a trending environment, into a range-bound environment. The two levels that I'd be looking for were right here down at range lows or this daily demand block right below, right? So I think last week we covered this, or the week before, right? This was the region of bid. Front ran it a little bit. Who cares? Reclaim of this level. Reclaim looks pretty good. Now this looks like a solid deviation. You took out the high that led to the low, right? It's still in a range-bound environment. If you want to bid this coin, you're trying to do it as close to a discount as possible, right? Which would be as close to 20 cents as possible. Yeah, but I'm saying it's more like Ohm on these other coins that went down 92% in a day. I don't think TRON will ever go down 92% in a day because I think people don't realize that a lot of money that's moved across markets is actually done on Tron because it's much cheaper than ETH. I myself have used Tron to move money across markets dozens of times. So just for that fact alone, it's integrated into pretty much everything in this market. I don't think it's going to zero. I don't think it's the best coin in the world, but I don't think it's going to zero. I don't think anyone owns it. I think all the supply is controlled by Tron and Justin Sun and the, you know, Tron Foundation, and they have all become billionaires and whatever. So yeah, they're painting the chart very, very well. What up, CC? I thought the guy that I timed out for spamming Eno was going to be back because I only timed him out for like 5 minutes. Probably learned his lesson. Let's take a look at Agar and Keo and see if there's anything there. Not really. Take a look at Keo. The 10% skew on the spot order books for Bitcoin has been flashing positive or on the bid side at these lows, which is, you know, another thing that's given me confidence in bulls recently at these lows. So I'm pretty damn optimistic. We don't really need a breakout today, tomorrow, or even next week, but I do think September is going to surprise some people as far as the upside goes. And if they drive us down to 108 again, I will probably be a buyer once. Not probably, I will be a buyer once again because the invalidation is so crystal clear. I copy traded BL, who's BL, on so longs back in March and went from $2 to 50K and then lost it all and have been severely unprofitable since. As far as your education in Paragon group, is that a good starting point or good starting place, or is there other fundamentals you believe should gather elsewhere? Here's the thing. Everything that you want to learn, you can learn for free. Like there are public resources all over the place, but the thing is, you're going to have to put in a lot of work to gather those resources yourself and to paint the picture yourself, right? So you're going to have to cross-reference my streams because a lot of stuff that I drop are in streams, right? And they may be hidden somewhere for like 5 minutes within a 2-hour stream. And I have so many streams. Or same thing with Magus' streams or anyone else out there that's a, you know, proven, respected, profitable, wise, experienced trader, whatever you want to call us. Paragon is kind of like a shortcut, right? You can come in, all of our education is like, you know, neatly organized. You can go through it and then you can ask us questions along the way. The reason you would want to join any type of educational group is to basically speed up the kind of information gathering part of your journey, right? I was a student at the Haven once upon a time for about a month or two to learn the EMA system from Pierre. So right before FTX into FTX. I went to Paragon as a student, right? Like I wasn't always an analyst there. I was a student there for a long time to learn how to read flows and learn and pick up a lot of education and nuance from Magus, who I believe is probably the best discretionary trader in the market. The guy has been front-running CT on every meta this entire cycle. So, you know, there's edge and alpha that you can get from people for free, for sure, right? Turn into Magus streams, you'll pick up a thing or two every single stream. You know, maybe the same thing for me, but if you go in there, you probably speed up your learning curve a little bit, right? Bob Lax, gotcha. Bob Lax on so longs back in March. In March, weren't we in a like catastrophic downtrend in March? Or am I tripping? Yeah, dude, we were like, oh, this one? You nailed this one? I also had one trade in here on Solana. I nailed this one on Bitcoin. We did work on Bitcoin down here. Yeah, that's the thing with copy trading, guys, is like, yeah, you can copy trade people to success, but you're not learning a damn thing. You're not learning a damn thing copy trading someone. You have no idea why they're taking longs or cutting them. And you get this false sense of security. You get this false confidence. You're all the way on the left side of the Dunning-Kruger curve. And you're basically thinking to yourself, oh, I know what I'm doing, right? And you don't. So it's pretty, I don't know, man. I came into this market, and one of my biggest losses early in my career was from a copy trade. I think I've talked about this publicly, but I was running up an account, or not running up, but I was like very early stage, and I was like trying to prove to myself that I could be profitable. And I turned into a scratch trader, right? Over like the course of 6 months. And what I mean by that is my accounts are not running to zero, but rather they're doing something like this, right? You know, maybe I go on a little bit of a hot streak, and then I do something like that, and then whatever, right? This is pretty much the kind of trader I was. And I went on a span where I was cutting out a lot of errors, and I was focusing on only like my S tier setups at the time, which was basically, you know, shorting range highs or shorting supply, because we were in a really strong downtrend in 2022. And I had a good hot streak, right? I had a really good month. And I was 40% up on my account, right? So instead of being at baseline, my account was actually up 40% from the money I put in. And what had happened was one of the traders in 2021 and 2022 that was on a really hot streak, he'd called the top successfully, he'd done a lot of things successfully, and he had some setup to long, I think it was AVAX, right? He was like long AVAX on this level, right? And I just abandoned everything I was doing. I was like, you know, I'm abandoning my game plans. I'm abandoning the things that are working for me. And I was like, oh, this looks like a home dunk, right? They put the RR tool on the chart, and they're like, oh, I'm going to long here, and my take profit's like all the way up there. And you're looking at that, and you're like, damn, they're on fire. I'm going to take that trade. And I remember taking that trade and, you know, sizing up bigger, right? I was risking a lot of the profits that I made, and I sized up on that trade. And obviously it didn't work out, and it failed. And because I went underwater, what did I do? Instead of cutting the trade, I added to it. And I ended up actually nuking my account from 40% up to, I think, around 30% down in that one trade. I lost a lot of money. I reset my account. And from that day forward, I never copy traded anyone again. I don't give a singular fuck what anyone's trades are. I don't care how good they are, what hot streak they're on. I don't care about anything. That's a lesson I learned. I'm like thankful that I learned very, very early. Because had I just continued to do what I was doing, right, I would have been fine. But I reset my account, and this took me a long time to overcome. And it's mentally damning, because you're like, damn, I put in so many hours, so many trades, so many good trades, and I compounded those gains, and I'm doing so well. And all of that hard work, all of that effort, all those late nights, all that stress gone in one trade. And at this moment, you have to have the discipline to tell yourself, like, I'm not going to gamble the rest of my account trying to bring it back to that level. I'm not going to go all in on the next trade. I'm not going to try to bring this back quickly. And you have to accept your fate and be like, damn, I have to do the small little trades all over again, and it's going to take me weeks and months. And that's such a bad mental space to come back from. It's very difficult. And I remember that hurting a lot back then. So yeah, I don't recommend copy trading to anyone ever, no matter how good they are. Someone smart once said, nobody made big money on what someone else told them to do. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Even if you copy trade someone like John did in chat, and you were successful, you get this false sense of confidence. You don't actually learn, you know, what you're supposed to do. And it's just it's gonna be gone like the wind, right? As quickly as it came, it's gonna leave. All right, friends. I think we should wind down the stream there. We're running, you know, severely low on questions, which is kind of nice because then we can take it easy. We can pick it back up next week. But if you missed, you know, the early parts of the stream where we talked about the Bitcoin outlook and everything like that, you know, feel free to go back and watch it. If you don't feel like watching that, wait for tomorrow, and the 5-minute outlook will be out, and it'll be very, very quick and very easy to follow. And if you know, watch it on 2x speed, it'll only be 2 minutes of your day. Quick shill, guys. If you guys have not already, feel free to check out Telemetry, which is Bonkbot's on-chain trading platform, which I have been using over the past several months to try to run up a very small account. I put 1 sol into this. It says 6 sol. It's not actually 6 sol because some of the, like, you know, if you guys sign up on the link, I get some kickback from you guys' trading volume. One thing they are doing is they're inputting a P&L curve in here. So you guys will be able to see my exact P&L very, very soon. I hope they don't mind me teasing that, but I know that's coming. And that's going to be very fucking cool to actually see an on-chain P&L curve like you would for any like perps exchange and stuff like that. I think it's really hard to code, which is what I've been told, but that's like in their plans. One thing that I found cool recently is the whale moves thing. So I actually saw a coin pop up on here for whale moves, and it was called COPE, I believe. I'm actually going to find the screenshot here. I saw a coin pop up in here, yeah. Recently. I absolutely nailed this. This is the best on-chain trade that I've taken so far. It just sucks that I did not size into this one. But I caught, it was like whale moves. Like a bunch of whales were buying this, and it was like high score on there, which I actually don't know how they calculate the score, because if you go over here and you highlight over how the score, how they calculate it, it says, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. But I saw it in like a 90, and it was like brand new, and it was like consolidating. It was like big on the whale move. So I just like sent it in there. And that thing popped the fuck off. But one of my friends on Twitter tweeted something, and he was like, what are your biggest regrets from this cycle? And my biggest regret was not paying more attention to on-chain, because a lot of money has been made on-chain this cycle, and I regret not paying more attention to it. So one thing that I'm doing for myself is just as a little side thing, a little side challenge, is trying to force myself to trade more on-chain, be more comfortable with it, try to spot things early. Which is why I'm trying to do this 1 sol to 100 sol challenge. It's around 5 sol right now. About 1 of this sol has come from rewards, but still, we're at about 5 sol, and hopefully I can take it to 100, and maybe I will, maybe I won't. But either way, it's a lot of reps and a lot of learning, and I think there's a lot of good features on Bonkbot. So if you guys want to check it out, there's a link in the description box below. Definitely do me a favor and sign up. Pretty cool. For real, ask them to make the buy sell button movable like Axiom. Dude, trust me. So I'm in a Telegram chat, obviously, with a lot of the developers and people that are working on it. Bro, these guys are fucking dedicated. Like, I've been around a lot of teams in crypto, and a lot of people just strike me as people that they're just trying to build something so they can cash out. These guys are actually passionate about it. Like, one of the people they have on the team is Jim, and you guys may know Jim from his very famous Up Only podcast with Kobe, where he says, you know, take profit. Your entries are not generational. I'm sure all of you guys have seen that clip once upon a time. And one of his biggest edges in market, which is funny, him and Magus actually have a long history together. They actually traded a lot of the last cycle together and stuff. But he's more of a order flow trader, right? And he's taken a lot of that like curiosity into on-chain and seeing like trying to figure out a bunch of different edges on-chain. So it's fun to speak with him and see how passionate he is about this, along with the rest of the team. So they are working really hard. You actually ran it up to 5 sol. I've had a couple lucky wins. So I had the Cope one that did well. There was a Wojak coin. Okay, so this is a little sidebar, but I always, when I was really bullish on Pepe, I was like, the coin that deserves to be, the two meme coins that deserve to be like top 20 in crypto is not Doge and SHIB. It is Pepe and Wojak. So there's been a couple times, like there was a ETH Wojak coin that I had a lot of exposure to in 2024, early 2024. That really never made it, right? And I was really sad about that. So every time like a Wojak coin pops up, now and again, I'll take a gamble on it. That one I think rugged and went to zero anyways, but it was a decent trade. There was a coin, Mobi. Have you guys heard of Mobi? One of my friends, Jingo, told me, he's like, just buy this coin. So I bought a little small bag of it, and I think it went up like 110%. So that was a nice win. I'm trying to think of the other on-chain coins that I have traded. Oh, Bucky. You guys remember the Bucky coin? So another friend told me to buy that coin. And it went up, and I kind of looked at it, and I was like, I hate this. This is a once upon a time 4chan bullshit coin, and I think it went up to like it went up to like 40 million market cap, but I sold it at 20 because I was like, this is stupid. This is a stupid coin. I don't know why it's going up so much. But the thing that I've learned so far from trading on chain is, man, it is a lot of cabals and supply control and bundling. Like it almost... It has nothing to do with the coin. It just has everything to do with who is running it. It is the most crime-stricken part of our industry, probably. So the only way to learn these things for me is to actually trade them. CS2 or Pokemon, as in like CS skins or Pokemon cards? Man, I mean, I would go with Pokemon because I don't play CS. What's Bucky? Can you show it? Okay, hold on. This coin. This is the coin. Bought down here and sold it the entire way up. I think the highest sell was, yeah, like 20 or something. Or no. What was this? Yeah, it's like $27. the last sell was for $27. It's so funny he's trading a small account. Like, one soul when we started this was like $150. So you're trading such small amounts, but they add up, right? You're just going for little wins. This is the coin though. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna buy this back. Also, like, I think another thing that I've learned from this is just buy and sell once and just be done with the coin. Almost, I don't think there's anything worth rebuying after the initial rally. Like, just never worry about the second rally or the second leg up or new all-time highs. Just if you've extracted this one, just it's good enough. I remember you posting about a PEPE around April 2024, and that went nicely. A PEPE is a really good trade for me. I initially bought it when the dev like rugged. This is a really good trade. I put 1 ETH into this. So this is before this. I need more price history. I probably am not going to get more price history on here. But yeah, it was like very low market cap. It ran up a whole bunch, and then the dev like rugged it. He like sold everything, and it went all the way back down to like 0, right? And then the community was like, screw this. We're like is before CTOs were popular. This was like very early days of communities taking over coins, and they took it over and they sent it to new all-time highs. This leg down was like 98% down, and they sent it all the way back up to all-time highs. And when I saw that, I was like, I should probably get some exposure to this. So it pulled back again, and I bought it. I bought 1 ETH of it, and it ran up like 20-30x. That was a banger trade for me. And then I compounded it one time. And probably the best part of the entire PEPE trade was actually not on a PEPE. It was right around the election. I had a PEPE exposure. I bought this range low deviation. You guys remember these charts that I was posting down here? Range low deviation reclaim. It sent to the other side. We got up into price discovery. And I took the entire bag of a PEPE and I full stacked it into PEPE right around the election. This is one of the best trades of 2024 for me, or one of the best decisions. Oh, let's see if I can actually do this. Okay, hold on. We gotta do it the other way. PEPE / APU. So where's the election? Right here. So I full stacked the entire APU bag into PEPE down here. And then PEPE ran 3x. So it was actually unbelievable. But yeah, the APU community was probably the most annoying coin community that I've ever seen. Like straight up. Those guys were something else. Alright guys. We're done. I'm tired. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you guys enjoyed the stream, drop a like. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It is completely free. It does not hurt you in the slightest. And if you decide you hate me down the road, you can always unsubscribe. But anyways, hope you guys have a good day. Hope you guys have a good week. Tomorrow the Outlook will be out, so be on the lookout for that. If you like reading, not only for myself, but from Magus, Charlie, Stoic, and Mercury, the cookbook will be out. If it's not out already, it'll be out in a couple hours, so be on the lookout for that. And I appreciate you guys. Until the next one, take care.
Go 心の底からごめんなさい。